What's up guys, Dave with Miracle Canine Training out here with a fun DIY dog training video. This is gonna be a little different than a lot of the ones we post, as this is not a super necessary functional obedience command that your dogs need to know. In fact, I'm using my personal dog, Cade, here because it is something that he doesn't even know. So it'll be a good one for him to utilize. And that is distinguishing the difference between sit and down with your dog. Now, we'll have clients ask us all the time why we don't spend a ton of time on this. And honestly, the fact of the matter is it's pretty unnecessary, right? In the end of the day, if your dog holds a sit stay versus a down stay versus goes into a down out of a sit versus goes into a sit out of a down, none of that is super practical in your day-to-day. It just doesn't matter as long as they know how to stay in one spot. That being said, we are empathetic to the fact that a lot of our clients want their dog to know these things. So with this, I treat this more like a trick. This is more like you're teaching your dog to shake, you're teaching your dog different types of tricks like retrieves or things like that. I keep it fun, I keep it positive, and I keep it engaging with the dog. There's not going to be any e-collar use. You'll notice he doesn't even have an e-collar on right now. I'm just using a slip lead with him currently. So a couple of things your dog is going to need to know if you want to start working on this, and a couple of things you're going to need to have here. So first and foremost, have your dog on a leash and make sure that your dog understands basic leash pressure of getting into a sit versus getting into a down. So I want to know with this leash, without saying anything, that I could apply pressure and get him into a sit. I want to know that I could apply pressure down, get him into a down, and I want to know that I could apply pressure back up. Come on. And get him into a sit there, right? So in addition to that, you got to have rewards that your dog really likes. In this case, got some treats here. I know that he likes these treats, so we're going to be able to utilize those to be able to teach this kind of stuff. And you'll even notice there, when I was just doing the leash pressure stuff, him getting back up into the sit wasn't very smooth because that's not a picture that I've ever taught him before. So we're going to be teaching it together. You guys are going to see the process, like I said, with one of my personal dogs here. So as I'm working on this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching him to always do the opposite of whatever he offers. So what I mean by that is when I come to a stop and have rewards, and if I don't say anything, I want to see what position my dog offers. In this case, you see he's offering a sit, right? Typically, when you come to a stop, they are going to offer the position that is the strongest or most highly rewarded. So in this case, with treats, he has primarily gotten rewarded for being in a sit there, so he's offering that on his own. So what I want to do is I want to balance these out, and I want to make sure that the opposite one is always just as strong as the one before. So in this case, he's in a sit, so what I'm going to do is tell him down. Good. Once he gets into that down, what I'm going to do is mark with good and give a reward for that. Okay. And I'm going to repeat that process a couple of times. So again, coming to a stop, seeing what he does. Down. Good. Okay. Now, the reason why I said that you need to have the leash pressure established is because as we start to make this more complicated, or as he starts to get thrown off, so we see how he now is offering the down, I need to know that I could help him into position after the command is given. So in this case, sit. Good. If he did not offer that sit on his own when I gave the command, I would use the leash to help him into position. Okay. Down. Good. Okay. And have patience when you're doing this, obviously. Wait until he commits to one or the other. Down. Good. Okay. Sit. Good. Again, we're doing the opposite every time. Okay. Down. Good. 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 We'll do 2 more of these here. Okay. Down. Good. Okay. Down. Good. So again, this drill is just keeping your dog from guessing, right? So as you see, he's stopping and he's guessing that it's either going to be the sit or he's guessing it's going to be the down, and we're reversing that, always getting him paying attention to the individual command. Okay, so once your dog is smooth with this step, next thing you would do is you would start adding duration in just like you would any other position. So, same deal, sit, good. So I'll put him into position, I'll reward for that, and then I'm going to drop the leash and leave him there. At that point, if he gets into the down, what I'm going to do is go back, grab the leash, help him back up, and try again. Now this is where if you do a lot of down stays or sit stays or whatever it may be, you're going to run into problems. See how he went automatically into that down, because anytime I do duration with this dog, I've patterned in down stays for it. So again, he's guessing. This way of going about doing it with minimal conflict here teaches them to stop guessing as much. Okay, same deal. Sit. Good. Okay. Down. Good. Again, we're keeping this very reward heavy right now. I want this to be as fun as possible. Now, both of my other 2 dogs, Vera and Vinny, are much more fluent in this kind of stuff. When I first got them, I was a lot more involved in more competitive dog training, teaching precise behaviors. So I did a lot of different positions and teaching, distinguishing the difference between things and stuff like that, just for the sake of having fun things to train with them. When I got Cade, I didn't spend as much time with him. I just taught him the basics of essentially the dogs that come in for board and trains and what those dogs know. So we never got a chance to work on some of these funner things. So you could see, again, this process of him learning how to work through that kind of stuff. Okay. Sit. Good. Okay, we'll do 2 more of these. Down. Good. Okay, and 1 more. Down. Good. Okay. And then the last step of this, if you really want to start getting fancy with it, is then working duration while alternating commands here. So what I could do is I'll pick a command that I want him to do. Down. Good. a reward for that command. And then instead of releasing him to get back into the position or to get into a different position, then what I'll do is I'll go back, sit, good. And I'll make him transition into a different command then at that point. And then as I go back, before I go to give another command, I'm gonna make sure he maintains this position first, obviously. Down. Good. Then I'll give my next one. Same deal, making him wait for the next command here. If he did not do it, I would just use the leash to help him back. I would not give another verbal command at this point. Sit. Good. And then a final step of this is you would start transitioning positions from afar. So I could stand over here. Let me get into a good camera angle here. I'd stand here and make him wait for a command. Down. Good. Then I can give my command from afar. Same deal, not repeating command. Just helping into the position. And then we'll try the other one. Now the sit out of the down tends to be the hardest out of all of them, but we'll see what we get here. Sit. If he does not do it, again, not repeating command. Going back. Good. Helping with the leash. Good. And rewarding. And you see, this is where it starts to get a little confusing here because they start predicting, they start guessing. So I'm just giving plenty of help with the leash. And this is where that leash really comes into play with this. Down. Good. Sit. Ooh, you're close. Good. Helping back into that sit. Down. Good. Sit. Good. And you'll start to notice they're going to start predicting what happens next. In this case, you see he was predicting me putting him into the sit when I walked closer to him. And this is where you're starting to see, again, most reliable command that he has currently is that down. That's why he continues offering it here, where I want to see that brain work a little bit and him start to process that. I want him to get into that sit a little bit more. Down. Good. And all this is just patience. Like I said, this is a trick. This is nothing more than a trick with him. So because of that, I'm not going to be really hard on this. I'm just going to continue coaching him through it a little bit. Sit. Same deal, not repeating, but walking back. Grabbing the leash, helping up. Good. Down. Good. Sit. Good, there you go, buddy. So you see again, the brain working a little bit. Okay, good job. All right, so again, just a couple of steps of some fun ways you could work on this, something that I've never done with him before. And he actually did very good with the first couple of steps here, but you see where the confusion started to come into play, and you see how we go about working through some of this stuff ultimately. So don't move on to the next step until the first one is good, obviously, but have some fun with this one, get some good treats that your dog likes, use your leash for it, and just go through these steps and teach your dog some fun new tricks to keep their brain engaged, especially in these quarantine times. If you guys have any questions on the process, obviously hit it up. If not, You did good, buddy. Okay.